The Permian is the final period of the Paleozoic and is full of important events and diversifications that have left lasting impacts on the history of life on Earth. It began approximately 298 million years ago and lasted the next 47 million years. The late Paleozoic Ice Age was still underway at the inception of the Permian, but the aggregation of landmass on Earth into the supercontinent Pangaea allowed for unusual climate patterns. This led to the desertification of much of Pangaea's interior. The continent's perimeter was engulfed by a superocean known as Panthalassa, which served as prime localities for plants and insects to diversify at exceptional rates.
With arid wastes blanketing the interior of Pangaea, plants underwent some of the most dramatic diversification in Earth's history in an attempt to colonize this largely uninhabitable land. Many of the plants in the pre-Permian fossil record are fern-like organisms adapted to quagmire or swamp-esque environments. As the climate warmed and the land became arid, plants learned to live with less and less water. This adaptation allowed them to grow and migrate farther away from their water sources.
As plants populated and adapted to the less habitable regions of the Earth, insects took advantage and began speciation of their own. New ecosystems were being created by the adaptations of plants, and insects were quick to ride their sedentary coattails, allowing for rapid diversification. Insects of this time period can be organized into a minimum of 23 distinct orders, and nearly half of those orders no longer exist.
As we have established, the Permian was a largely influential time in Earth's history. However, all good things must come to an end, and this time period is no exception. The End Permian mass extinction event is the most dramatic and deadly in all of Earth's history, featuring the loss of about 95% of marine species and about 70% of terrestrial species. It is important to note that controversy has not eluded the specifics regarding the extinction event. There is much dispute among scientists. This dispute is concerning the length and punctuation of the extinction, as well as different potential causes. Although the timing of this event may be disputed, it is not disputed that one of the main causes of this mass extinction would be due to the formation of the Siberian Traps. The Siberian Traps were produced by the flood basalt eruptions from a large igneous province beneath modern Russia, which spanned about 2 million years. During this time, approximately 4 million cubic kilometers of basaltic lava seeped onto the surface. In addition to the lava, copious amounts of carbon dioxide were being released into the atmosphere, causing substantial changes in the climate due to the greenhouse effect. The increases in carbon dioxide from the eruptions of the Siberian Traps are nearly unprecedented throughout Earth's history, and the results were nothing short of catastrophic. Throughout the eruption, carbon dioxide went from 500 to 4,000 parts per million to about 8,000. Such a staggering rise in carbon dioxide brings along many dangers, and the most immediate impact was a rapid increase in temperature, which is estimated to have risen about 10 degrees Celsius at the time.
With that being said, the Siberian Traps have expelled more than just lava. Up to 20% of the erupted material was pyroclastic and sulfuric, creating clouds of dust and hazardous aerosols that further contributed to the catastrophe. Aerosols from the traps were variable and extremely dangerous, including nickel, mercury, cobalt, and arsenic. These ash and aerosol clouds block sunlight as well as potentially making way for acidic rain, a death sentence for many of the marine organisms at the time that rely on dissolvable carbonate shells. Acid rain is as dangerous on land as it is in the ocean due to the fact that rain can be collected by river basins and then transported to the ocean. Sediment that recently sequestered previous harmful greenhouse gases would also have an easier chance of being eroded and then transported into the oceans, making it more and more acidic. With the oceans having rapid increases in acidity, this would be the last straw for influential marine organisms such as the trilobites, tabulates, and rugose corals. It wasn't just the increase in carbon dioxide in the oceans that killed off almost all marine life. Not only were the oceans extremely acidic, the greenhouse effect also caused so much warming that almost all of the ocean water on the Earth was warm, which did not allow it to circulate. Ocean circulation is one of the two main reasons for temperatures to regulate themselves in the ocean. It is an important cycle since the water can circulate sediments, nutrients, and most importantly, oxygen throughout the whole ocean. If the oceans are stagnant, then any marine life would be nutrient and oxygen starved. This would be detrimental to these organisms, killing off what was left after those killed by the increased acidity in the oceans. The Siberian Traps proved to be the start of a very long nightmare for nearly every organism on Earth at this time, due to a snowball effect of changes in the environment, atmosphere, and the oceans. The end Permian mass extinction event displays the catastrophic power of a world once filled with life and its ability to take almost all of that away. A generally prosperous era of life on Earth featuring great diversification all came crashing down simply as a result of constant convections in the mantle beneath Siberia. This mass extinction rightfully earns the nickname the Great Dying due to the sheer effect on all life on Earth. Whether it was a plant, animal, or insect trying to survive, it is good to assume at the time that it was not alive by the end of the Permian.